Yeah, so it has come to pass. Something that many were in denial about. So sure that it would not exist. And honestly, things were looking a little bit sketchy at times, but it has happened. Out of nowhere, president of Xbox Sarah Bond announces that the new generation of Xbox consoles is coming. First-party devices, which Microsoft is developing. And the big one that a lot of us have been speculating about, and the one thing we have said that Xbox should do in the console space, is also confirmed to be happening. First, let's talk about the fact that Microsoft is still making first-party devices. Because of the dwindling Xbox Series console sales and the Asus ROG Xbox Ally announcement, many people were under the impression that Microsoft would not be interested in making their own first-party hardware. Well, this is not the case, as Xbox just announced. Clearly, there is still an appetite at Xbox to make their own consoles, despite the challenges they have faced. Incidentally, Microsoft will be working with AMD to work on a portfolio of devices. Now, that is interesting. A moment of silence, though, for our chronically wrong friend J-Dub, who celebrated Sony and AMD's relationship and assumed that this would leave Xbox to work with Intel or Nvidia only. But the portfolio of devices part is really interesting, though, and kind of alludes to more than one device. We already heard that the native Xbox handheld had been sidelined, so what will these devices be? Xbox mentioned harnessing the power of AI to deliver cutting-edge visuals and immersion and blah blah blah, the kind of usual spiel we would now expect when a new console is announced. Frankly, it all just slides away from me like I'm laminate at this point, but there are a few key takeaways. One, this is a native device, and Sarah Bond stressed that gamers can play their existing library of games on future devices. Xbox has made a big song and dance about Xbox Play Anywhere, and here is no exception, as Sarah Bond states the same thing, stating that you can play the games you want across devices wherever you want. But the big development, which is a game changer in the console space, is that the new Xbox is going to be a hybrid device. Sarah Bond confirmed that the device will not be locked to one Play Store. That means the next Xbox will have different Play Stores other than its own Xbox Store, and the big one, which we assume is the case, is Steam. That is huge, and you may have seen my video a few months ago where I talked about how Xbox needs to do exactly this. So many people question why Xbox would even do this. Relinquish their own store, they asked, and profits and enable Steam to take away a big chunk of their sales? Well, clearly Microsoft understands the landscape and the potential of a hybrid device, because a device that gives you the best of both worlds, the ease of use of consoles with the versatility and choice of PC, is the way forward, especially because of Microsoft's bloody history in the PC space and where the market is veering towards more PC stuff. As time goes on, these consoles have become glorified PCs anyway, but just overly restricted. Xbox now has the potential to make a device that stands out infinitely more to a much larger crowd, especially in markets like Far East Asia and the Middle East. But the real source is the potential Steam integration. We haven't had full confirmation yet, but Sarah Bond expressly and clearly states that Windows is the #1 platform for gaming. Interesting use of wording there. That is a big change in the messaging, but also gives rise to all the signs about Xbox deepening its PC connection. The writing has been on the wall for ages. The true winners are the PC master race in all of this, as the entire industry moves this way. But if this is a Windows device, and it has the freedom of Windows, then Steam should obviously be there, no? Of course. And if Steam is in there, then this is where the real gut punch comes to some corners of the fandom. PlayStation games. For over a year and a bit now, PlayStation games have been besides themselves, celebrating Xbox games on their platform whilst their own platform's first-party roadmap absolutely defecates itself. Why else do you see Xbox games constantly top PlayStation charts? However, PlayStation has released almost all of its games on Steam, barring only a couple of exceptions, and in one almighty Uno reverse card. The new Xbox should be able to play these PlayStation games, albeit the PC versions of them. So, what does this mean for the PlayStation community? No matter how hard they try to conceal it, they are besides themselves. They pretend it doesn't matter because the next Xbox is a glorified PC anyway, not realizing the fact that these toys that they worship are basically gimped PCs in the first place. But We know it's all posturing and excuses because we also saw them try to downplay an Xbox device partnered with bloody Asus, saying that that wasn't an Xbox, so this being a first-party device really has them stumped. The other bit that they will not openly admit, even though a few weeks ago they were broadcasting loudly, was that they are hoping and praying that Sony somehow blocks these games appearing on the next Xbox. It's not out of the realm of possibility, although it's a very murky area to navigate, because how exactly would Sony start specifying and restricting Steam support for its games on potentially multiple Xbox devices? Some PlayStation fanboys have reached the acceptance stage already, whilst masking their hurt. But the all too obvious truth is that true exclusivity has disappeared for the most part, barring perhaps Nintendo, which is also subject to the reality of emulation. What does this mean for the discourse surrounding games and games consoles? It means that the Xbox community can now dangle the lost exclusivity in front of PlayStation guys for months until we get some firm details regarding how this console even works. There are lots of pent-up feelings here, and now it's the PlayStation community that seems like it's had its air sucked out of the room. They are putting a real brave face on, despite the fact that they were prematurely celebrating that Xbox would even make a new console. And all of this steers the conversation towards the distinguishing factors between the platform holders, first-party games, and their quality and quantity. But make no mistake, I'm still a proponent of exclusivity between devices, but clearly that's not sustainable in this industry for whatever reason. I have been drowning in the source, witnessing their hurt and exacerbating their hurt feelings with much glee. Understand truly, however, that the ultimate gaming experience does rest with the PC platform. It already runs the definitive experience of PlayStation and Xbox games, but now the lines are starting to get blurred, and I tell you what, deep down, every pony wishes that Sony's next console also has this kind of hybrid feature. Why wouldn't you want it? And again, all of this rests on execution. But I'm about to go dig in the trenches for the sauciest receipts as we enjoy these developments. PlayStation Nation, you gon' learn today.